Hello, this is Dr. Rebecca Wood, and I would like to welcome you to the Week 3 lecture. This week we will discuss calamities and connections in both of our reading assignments. As we continue with our reading assignments in Things Fall Apart, this week there are a great deal of changes for Okonkwo and his family. And so as we read, think about what questions we can ask ourselves to help make sense of what is going on. And can reading out loud help us to understand more clearly? And so here are just some beginnings of notes that I have here as an example. Beginning of chapter 8, Okonkwo mourns the death of his foster son, and then his friend is negotiating a marriage for his daughter, and then Okonkwo unfavorably compares his friend's son to his own older son, whom he sees as possibly not going to be as successful as he is. Taking notes as we read can help with the weekly quizzes, preparing to write our essays and papers, and pre-studying for the final exam. For a novel with as many characters as there are in Things Fall Apart, a character list could be helpful. You can make this a separate list, or you can combine it with the outline for your paper. This technique is similar to the cast of characters in the first section of a play. You can expand the character list with more details as you continue reading. And so let's say, for example, if you're reading Hamlet, you have a similar issue and there are a lot of characters in the play and you need to keep track of them to see what's going on. And then what themes emerge in Things Fall Apart? There is the possible theme of family. Family is very important to Okonkwo, but he's not always kind to his family. Friendship is important, maybe not quite as important as family. Gender issues. Why do the characters act the way they do? How does their gender affect their actions? Religion, issues of war and peace, and also maybe thinking about it from our perspective, issues of law and order. And then as we are writing our essays and papers for class, think about how to organize your introduction. So if we were going to write our essay 2 about Things Fall Apart, for instance, pick your favorite theme or themes to talk about in your essay. And the introduction should catch the reader's attention and give the audience a clear thesis statement. A brief, carefully documented quotation can strengthen your argument, and you can revisit the introduction during the revision process to make sure that it really still fits the paper, and change the introduction to fit what you've actually written. That's a very important step you don't want to forget. And then many of my students beforehand have possibly questioned this as a technique, but I like to organize the conclusion of my essay before I organize the middle of my essay or paper or novel. And so we want to choose the destination. Where are we headed? And so knowing how we are going to end our project helps us organize our thoughts in the middle. And you can end your work by restating the thesis statement in a new way, not in the same exact words, while wrapping up all the major statements in the rest of the work. And also you want to remember not to start any new topics in your conclusion. And then organizing the middle of your essay. What do we want to stop to explore on our trip? For example, if we are writing about issues of law and order and Things Fall Apart, what are 3 places in which crimes occur? How are these crimes handled by Okonkwo and his community? And how can you relate these events to what you think about law and order yourself? And what do these events say about the community in the book? And also document carefully. I truly recommend documenting as you go and not trying to add the documentation in later. And here is a nice little screenshot from the MLA section of the Purdue OWL website. Quoted material, summarized material, and paraphrased material, including our textbooks, should be accompanied by an MLA in-text citation. And this material here is directly quoted, so it has quote marks and an MLA in-text citation, which has the author's last name and the page number of this quotation. Switching gears, this week's reading assignment in Reversing Sail includes historic events that extended into the 20th century through the present day, and economic factors played a huge role in the migrations of people of the African diaspora. And so if we were going to be writing about Reversing Sail, our chapters have so much information that we may have to drill down a little bit. And so as an example, Chapter 7 has a great deal of historical information about people from many diverse cultures. And so we couldn't write about all of that in one short essay. So what we might want to do is pick a fact or facts that are intriguing to you, or a section of a chapter that calls for more investigation, and make sure to document any directly quoted material. And here's an example, and I did take out a little bit of text here so that I could get it onto the slide. And so these ellipses show where I took out some text, but it did not change the meaning of my quotation, which would be a mistake. And so here I say, for example, quote, the formation of the famed Tuskegee Airmen, 450 black pilots who flew combat missions in Europe, contributed significantly to the war efforts. And so this is my MLA in-text citation with the author's last name and the page number of where I found this quotation. And where can we find more information? Each chapter of Reversing Sail has a suggestions for further reading section. And so if we were going to be doing a longer paper and we needed some sources, we could actually look at the end of those chapters and see if there's information that we could get from the suggestions for further reading to find some new sources. Also, the St. Louis University Library has excellent resources for research, including study guides especially designed for SPS students and a link to chat with a librarian. And then this is my works cited page for my slide. I have not included the Creative Commons illustrations or any illustrations that I created myself. However, I have included our 2 textbooks, and this is an example of how to create your works cited for the papers that you write in this class and how to document these sources. And so I have the last name of the author, first name, title of the work, the year it was first published, the publisher, and the year that our edition was published, along with a works cited for the MLA in-text citations illustration that I took from the Purdue Online Writing Lab, and this is how we would document anything from that website. I hope you all have a great week. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.